introducing our speaker today. So Jeff Boswell is a recruiter for Universal Logistics. And Jeff is going to walk us through a couple of job opportunities that they have today. We do have the chat box feature open. And so if you have any questions at all, feel free to use that chat box. I'll be monitoring it, and then we can feed any questions that you all might have to Jeff, either throughout or at the end of his presentation. This presentation will also be available on our social media platforms afterwards. So you can come back and use it as a reference or share it with friends who also might be interested in this space. Again, my name is Regina Ward. I'll be monitoring your chat box. Thanks so much for coming. Jeff, I'm going to turn it over to you. Can you unmute yourself now, Jeff? Sorry.
Yeah.
There you go.
Here we are. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on, Regina, and I appreciate all of you folks jumping on to learn more about the company that I'm a part of. I've actually been part of Universal for 12 years now as of June. For a little while, I was furloughed this year due to what's going on as a result of us not hiring for a short while, but I'm back in the saddle. And not only am I helping with our facility in terms of finding people for a couple of positions, but I'm also helping out with the Smyrna facility as they are in need of forklift drivers and a position called tugger for a few different shifts. So the first positions I'll go over are in our building here in Antioch. And in particular, what we're hiring for is a call center position. We are just like a call center in that we have a bunch of people in front of computer screens with headsets on, communicating with folks on the phone. And we're different from a call center in what we're doing. We're both tracking and tracing loads that we have been assigned as a third party. And we're also negotiating rates and developing relationships with carriers that we assign to those loads. So a lot more interesting than a typical call center in that what we're doing is very dynamic, always activity filled, sometimes stressful, and never a dull moment. So I'll go over the first position, actually the second position listed on this flyer, and that's for carrier services. In a nutshell, what we do is get assigned loads, full truckloads that are going from point A to point B. Customers such as Dollar General, SX, Walmart, those are several of our customers. Quite a few household name customers and some customers you've never heard of that all ship on full truckload will assign us a load. And then we will, once we get the rate agreed upon, let's say if a customer is paying us $1,000 to move the load, we're trying to find a carrier as a third party, as a middleman, that'll move the load for us for $850 or $900. Sometimes we break even. More lately, we've been losing money because of the way the market is and the number of drivers that are available right now. So, like I said, always interesting. So in a nutshell, that's what we're doing. The brokers are developing relationships with the carriers and negotiating rates. And like I said, the carrier services team, which we have 3 shifts, is tracking and tracing loads. So once the customer assigns a load to us, we're going to reach out to that carrier to find out if they're able to move the load for us at a rate that we can agree upon. And then broker does that, and the carrier services team is actually giving the information as far as the pickup and delivery address, also obtaining the driver's name, tractor and trailer number, a lot of basic phone communications. What's interesting about us and a lot of other brokerages, just what we are as a broker, is that we're dealing with a segment of the workforce that is highly underappreciated. And sometimes that reflects in the way they communicate with us. They're used to being mistreated by a lot of our competition. And our big thing is we want to treat the folks that are on the other end of the line like a human being and make it more about developing a relationship with them as opposed to focusing just on the bottom line. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. For our carrier services position, that currently pays $14 an hour. We do have a Monday through Friday shift that's roughly 7-ish to 4-ish, but we're focusing in particular on a shift that covers the weekends. So possibly, and I have notes here, we're looking for folks that are able to work a shift that would comprise of Friday through Monday, roughly 10 hours a day. And most of the hours are during the daytime. Friday would be sort of second shift. Monday would be kind of second shift, whereas Saturday and Sunday are during the daytime. That's 4 10-hour days. That's a particular need we have, although we are looking at folks that are interested in the Monday through Friday. With the carrier services position, tracking and tracing loads comes a potential for opportunity for other roles. We have a gazillion other roles besides these first two entry-level roles, and we only promote from within for all the other roles. So we have folks that talk to the customers in terms of obtaining the freight opportunity. We have team leads on the broker side. We have team leads on the customer side. We have folks called load coordinators that are entering all the information required for us to enter in the load in order to assign it to a carrier. All kinds of different roles. And the key to us is personal development. So in order to get the opportunity to eventually be a broker, if you're in carrier services, you have to complete 5 books. And in fact, anyone that's hired as a broker has to complete those first 5 books in order to train. So that's kind of our little niche, the thing that makes us different, because this job can be a little crazy sometimes or a little stressful. And we feel like personal development is the key to being able to face the challenges that crazy transportation world brings our way. So with that, we have the broker position also. That's Monday through Friday. That starts at $17 an hour. Both positions have a bonus opportunity based on margin that's earned from the team. I have my phone number here, so if you have something to write with, you can write this 615-815-3429 number. I am available if you have general questions about the job. It's a pretty extensive candidacy process that everyone goes through. So once someone signs up to apply, there is written questions. There is an extensive phone interview. We're doing our on-site interviews remotely via a program similar to Zoom. So it is a long application process because we're basically looking for folks that are going to be able to handle the craziness of this. In particular, our corporate office in Michigan, Universal Logistics Holdings, is evaluating all applicants. So everything has to go through that final stage once the interviews are done here. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up that it is a pretty thorough application process in terms of what we're looking for and how long it takes. So human resources at shipwithyou.com if you have any questions. Also, you can go to our website. Our website is shipwithyou.com. And if you click the Join Our Team banner, we have an applicant portal that you can get in. And it starts you on the first step. I see the information, and then I send you the next step, so on and so forth. It makes it really easy. Is there anyone in here that has any? I've just done a verbal vomit on everything that we have to offer here as far as what's going on in Antioch. Does anyone have any questions about these positions? We have a fewer people here, so I wanted to open it up just in case someone had any questions.
And so everyone knows, you all will also receive these slides after the presentation, and they'll be available if you just send us an email. If you're listening to the recorded version of this, we'll be happy to send those over to you as well, but you should be able to see them on the screen. I don't have anything in the chat box right now. So Jeff, do you want to move to your next job?
So this job in particular is a little new to me in terms of the things that our parent company is asking for help on. We are in the process of trying to get a minimum of 50 or so forklift drivers for our Smyrna facility that feeds the Nissan plant. So Nissan has a contract with Universal for a separate facility that is non-manufacturing, where basically their parts are being moved around and shipped back and forth to the lab and in-house certification shortly after one starts that particular job. So for first shift, the rate is $14 an hour for sit down, $15 an hour for stand up. There's also a position called a tugger position, which is a different kind of machine that doesn't require anything other than the straight ahead driver's license, where those machines, driven machines, are moving product around. Like I said, the certification is not required for that. All 3 shifts are needed as far as what they need in manpower and help. So second and third shift, for the forklift and for the tugger. It pays a little bit more. $15 an hour for a sit-down forklift and $15 an hour for a tugger. Second and third shift, the stand-up forklift driver gets 16 an hour. They have it set up to where they have a pretty rapid frequency of raise opportunities. So if one is approved for hire, it's a 90-day period, and there's a 50-cent raise, 75-cent raise after 6 months, $1 after a year, $1.50 after 18 months, and then 2 years. By the end of the second year, 50-cent raise. It ends up being a total of $2 in raises. So one can go from $16 an hour to $18 an hour in a short 2-year period. We all know how fast time goes by. And always there's opportunity for leadership there once one proves themselves in an entry-level position. So just like here, definitely opportunity. And with that, they're concentrating more on the higher per hour shifts as far as the dollar amount. Second and third shift is where they really need help. And the application process is different than us over in Antioch. In Smyrna, they're asking folks to stop by the facility.
I'm sorry, you all. It appears that Jeff he's either been kicked out or he's having some technical difficulties right now. If you hang on for just 1 second, I'm going to try to get him back for us. There's Jeff. I think he's back. Oh, you can unmute yourself. There you go.
Sorry about that. We have questionable Wi-Fi here. I'm using my hotspot now. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Let me see. I see your name. There you go. You're back. Awesome. Let me get your slide back up.
It couldn't have happened at a better time because I was pretty much almost done describing everything.
Oh, well, that's perfect. If you want to finish where you were, I do have a question or two for you.
Okay, sure. So in a nutshell, Smyrna facility, forklift opportunity, and here a call center opportunity, both with room for advancement. What were your questions?
One question is, what are the shift hours again for the broker position?
Broker position, they're accepting folks that are available for the straight ahead full-time Monday through Friday between 7 and 7:30 a.m. If the day ends between 4 and 4:30 p.m. and it's an hourly wage starting at $17 an hour. The carrier service position, similar hours, pretty much the same hours, Monday through Friday. In particular, they're looking for someone that is available for carrier services for the non-traditional hours, which would be this weekend position. That's what we call 410s, is a Friday through Monday position. The first day, Friday, would be 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday and Sunday would be 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then Monday would be 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And of course, I can go over that detail for anybody that calls.
Awesome. Another question we have, Jeff, is as you were talking about hiring for the forklift positions that you have in Smyrna, you said that they're kind of wanting people to stop by to apply for that. Could you kind of explain what that process looks like and what they'll need to know if they stop by? I know I've been to that facility before, and if you're unfamiliar, it's a little tricky to get in there and know where the front door is.
Yeah, good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So the way I like to describe it, and I feel like about 90% of the people have been able to find it. I feel like I found it just because I got lucky. But when you pull into there, the app Waze or the Google Maps app will get you there, and you want to look for the skinny parking lot. There is a parking lot on one side of the building with just 2 rows, and there's a plexiglass office entrance that's mostly plexiglass, and above the door is a big 200. There were a couple of folks that I directed there that ended up on the other side, which was an employee entrance that required a key card. And I think that's where the main employees are going in. So you want to look for the skinny parking lot that only has 2 rows that will be full. And that'll be the one. I can, if anybody needs it, I've actually gone to Google Images or Google Earth and taken a picture of what that entrance looks like, and that can be helpful. So I can send that.
That's perfect. Thank you, Jeff. Is there anything else that you want people to know about working for Universal? What are some of the things that people might not know that are fun? I love that you had so many opportunities for advancement with the broker positions. Are there other aspects like that on the Universal side in Smyrna? And is there anything specific that if you're looking at an Antioch position, I know you mentioned that the time frame could be a little bit longer of a process right now. What might those folks be looking at?
So in particular, I'll start with the broker and carrier services position. It's a little bit easier for me to speak to because I've had every job here for the last 12 years. And what I can say is, uh, I'll be honest, transportation may not be for everyone. There has been folks that have started here that have figured that out pretty fast. I was kind of one of those people, but I was sort of in a position when I started here. It was called Cavalry Logistics. I started in 2008 and I was 33 years old, and it was just time for me to grow up. I was a musician out here in Nashville. And what I noticed were the things that were difficult about the job and stressful in terms of dealing with carriers and drivers and dealing with conflict on a lot of days, most days, is that it's a petri dish for a lot of psychological dynamics. And I think, like I said, a lot of people get really addicted to that because trying to find solutions ends up being fun in of itself when things seem impossible. And with transportation, things go wrong so much. It's really hard to control things. It's pretty much impossible. So learning how to be able to deal with that challenge has probably been the biggest thing for me. I've been able to advance over the last 12 years, but what I've learned from the development programs that I've been able to take outside of this world and utilize the skills that I've learned here in terms of negotiating for a car, becoming a parent, and things of that nature. The combination of the book list and the day-to-day here, it's not pretty, it's kind of tough, but I've gotten so much out of it. As far as the facility in Smyrna, I went and took a tour and spent some time with the person, the HR coordinator. Her name's Amy Lemasters. And I was really impressed with the fact that it is not a typical forklift job in that whoever goes there is walking into a brand new facility. I think the facility is probably not much more than 10 years old. It's really nice in there. And it seems like just a really good group of people. Everybody that is there seems like they're happy to be there. You can look at Glassdoor reviews, and you can look at, I guess there's no Yelp reviews. I always think of that because I think of restaurants and takeout. But for Glassdoor reviews, go ahead and review those, but get an idea of yourself from talking to the folks in the front office. When you go in there, I think it's really cut and dry. I think you can fill out the application and hand over your information and do the drug test, if I'm not mistaken, on the same day. I've had a couple of people that I've directed over there. Now, right now, I'm in the process of getting the resumes from Indeed and calling the folks and saying, hey, go on over there and apply in person to try to drum up some activity for them because they need people. I've had a few people go and apply, and it's been a couple of days and they're having to wait. I think they probably have an approval period of time for our main corporate office in Michigan like we do. So if I could tell you to just kind of be patient, once you fill out your application, if it's a couple of days and you haven't heard anything, that could be just the fact that it's taking a little bit longer. So advancement opportunity in both realms. And Antioch, where we are, is right off the Bell Road exit. So we're right before it gets really horrible in terms of traffic. So a lot of folks, we have a ton of people that live in Murfreesboro that commute out here, and if they're getting here at 7 or 7:30, it's early enough to where they can avoid all.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I don't see any other questions at this time, and we are getting close on time, so I will go ahead and wrap this up. Again, we will be sending Jeff's flyers out via email to everyone that registered for this event, and it will also be available to you all later on our social media sites. Thanks so much, Jeff. For those of you who are still on the job hunt, we have a Ready2Work event almost every single day in the day of September. So please check our Rutherford Works website for that list. and you will sign up for it just like you signed up for this one today. Thank you guys so much, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks.